really think they dropped the ball on Marta Suarez. Now, when we're talking about Justine Passat, for some reason I just can't figure it out. I don't know why the Indiana Fever have Justine Passat in the development contract. I don't know why they have her down in development. I think that Justine Passat should be in that 12-man roster or 12-woman roster. I'm just being honest. If you're talking about your bench that you have right now, Justine Passat, Justine Passat can can average and can put up more points than any one of those players that you have right now currently on the roster coming off the bench. Straight facts. Straight facts. Justine Passat can put up more points and consistently put up points that the Fever would need coming off the bench more than any of those bench players they have right now. And that's no knock at another one, but I'm just saying I can't understand why they have Justine Passat still down there. Now, I've heard a few people on a couple of podcasts. I've heard some of the people on the panel where they were saying is, well, maybe the Fever realized something about Justine Passat. She may not be all the way ready to play with the professional league to be out there more. They think she needs to develop more, which I think that is complete. I get that could be a possibility, but I think that's completely blasphemy in this case, because not to the people that are saying maybe this suggestion. I'm just saying the fact that Indiana Fever would think that, because you couldn't possibly think that, because you guys are giving Raven Johnson playing time. Why not have Justine Passat? I mean, getting playing time as well. Justine Passat can get her own shots. She has an offensive game. I'm just being honest. There's some things that Raven Johnson needs to work on, because if you're talking about her getting playing time like that, but if you got her out there having no problem when she out there, she got defense. But coming off the bench, you need some players that can put buckets and put points on the scoreboard until the starters come back in the game. And that is Justine Passat. To me personally, Justine Passat is the most reliable offensive player that would be coming off the bench for the Indiana Fever. And I can't figure out and quite put it together why they don't have her on a 12-man roster. It just doesn't make no sense. I think there's other players that you could put on that developmental and then have Justine Passat there. When you look at some of the things that the Indiana Fever are lacking right now, Justine Passat would give you that. She would give you that. She has size. She has dribbles. She has a killer three-point. And she knows how to play in the paint as well. Could you guys imagine if they would just give this girl the time? Like, I think that's the problem. They're talking about why we want to develop her more. No, Justine Passat, I think that they are dropping the ball with Justine Passat to a little bit, and you can see it. You can tell when sometimes if you watch Justine Passat, she's annoyed. She's like, well, why am I not getting playing time? Why am I not on the 12 roster? I can put up points and I can put up offensive points and I can have an all-around game. Why do I have to sit down here? You can see it on her face. I'm telling you, Justine Passat does not like being on a developmental roster. She wants to be on a 12-man, 12-woman roster. And I just think that there were other players on that bench that she's way more talented in. And for the fact that for people, even if the Indiana Fever front office and Stephanie White thinks that she needs to develop more and she's not ready, they are completely blind. They are completely blind, because I've watched Justine Passat at Vanderbilt. Do you guys not realize that do you not realize that they were consecutively multiple times during the time when Passat was there, that they were made it to the NCAA tournament? They made it to the NCAA tournament. Her and Blake, they made it to the Vanderbilt were making it to the tournament. So I think the fact is because Vanderbilt didn't go far into the tournaments, it's like they had a curse on them. Vanderbilt they would always not make it past the first round. If any of you guys know, see, that's what I'm saying. I've been watching women's basketball since back in the 90s. Like, that's when I first started watching women's basketball. So when we talking about some of these, and I took a break for a while because it just really when all those players left from the 90s, the game just wasn't the same. And it's just like out there, I don't know what these girls were doing over time frame. But when I started back watching, and I'm watching these college, when I'm looking and watching Justine Passat and Blake, man, Vanderbilt was a good team. Vanderbilt was a good team. The only problem is that Vanderbilt couldn't get out the first round. That was their problem, because there were teams that were better overall than them. You know, that was the issue, and why I think Justine Passat didn't get enough and I think maybe that's probably why people don't look. Oh, she's a very high value player because of the fact that she never got out of the first round with Blake. They always got bumped out in the first round, but that's because the teams that they had to play up against, these top tier teams, had better overall rosters. That's the reason why Vanderbilt never got out of the first round of the tournaments. But they was making it to the tournaments, but they just couldn't get out the damn first round. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on Justine Passat. I'm telling you guys, hear me and hear me now. I'm telling you guys, if they would take this girl off the developmental and put her up to and bump her up to the 12-man roster or a 12-woman roster, I'm telling you, she would give Fever what they need, someone that can play inside the paint, because you guys don't understand. I watched this girl. This girl was dominant in the paint at Vanderbilt. She was playing against some of these players that you say these bigs that these bigs are in the league right now. She was playing against them, and she was holding her own just like Marta Suarez was. Because Marta, like I told you guys, Marta Suarez used to play with Vanderbilt as well before she eventually transferred off onto TCU. Okay, but like I said, I watched this girl play. Justine Passat. Can she most of her? If you guys really look, if the Fever keeps saying, think about this. The Fever keeps saying that they lack size and they need someone size. Not Marta Suarez, but Justine Passat is 6'4". She has the length. She may not have the body size, like the body weight, but she has the length. She has dribble. She's played in the paint, inside the paint throughout her career in Vanderbilt. Because when you're looking at, she was one of the biggest people tallest people on the team. There were a couple of other, but they didn't really have size. So Marta Suarez, if you guys go look at not Marta Suarez, but Justine Passat, go look at Justine Passat in her college years. And you could see that she was on the outside when she would come out, and then she'd be on that 3-point line. But a lot of Justine Passat games, she had to play in the paint. So Justine Passat already knows how to play, and she's very skilled already as far as playing in the paint. She knows how to get offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. She's not a person that commits turnovers like that. That's the thing. You want people coming off the bench, and you want more people on the team that's not really committing turnovers like that, because we have a real issue with that. A lot of these just silly turnovers. So I think that Justine Passat is a killer. And it's like the Indiana Fever. Why are you guys holding her down? You guys need to put her up and start letting her run with these professionals. I don't think that Justine Passat needs to be down. I think that would really hurt her more than help her. I think her being in the game right now playing is going to make her even develop more. They need to let her start playing with these pros now, because she was already playing against these girls in college. And she was giving them the business in college. Like I said, the only reason why some of these players you see when they come out from college and their name is not their name is not publicized like some of these other names, is because the teams they're on. When you're on a team that's not well equipped or not packed a roster like these top tier teams, of course you're not going to be publicized as a player. But I'm telling you, Justine Passat was giving people the business in her college years, and some of these players and bigs. The only difference is the problem is that when you look at Justine Passat average in college, it was about like maybe say 10 to 12 points per game, and maybe like 8 or 10 rebounds per game. The problem is because she wasn't the primary focus of their team. Blake was the primary and it was primary force or score on a team, and the primary source on their team. So Blake, all the plays mostly were designed for Blake first. And then Passat was like the second or third option. That's the problem. That's the reason. So I do think that she could have played. Justine Passat could have averaged more points per game in her college career, but the fact that she wasn't the major focus, primary focus on her college years at Vanderbilt, Blake was. Well, because I'm telling y'all right now, I hear some of these people talk about some of these point guards. They talk about like Olivia Miles Page and etc. Azzy Fuzz, and then they're talking about like the one coming from out of USC. What's her name? Can't think of it right now, but you guys know almost the one that said at USC. And then these guards they're talking about. But I'm telling you, man, Blake is a beast. I think when Blake comes out of depending on what team that Blake goes to, I'm telling you, Blake, I think she's going to be better than some of these ones that they people talk about that are better than Caitlin or all this extra nonsense. I think Blake is going to be better than some of these ones right now that people are talking about. Mark my word. Mark my word. Because Blake she's a beast, and she can move around, and she's not like she's small. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Justine Passat was not the main focus on Vanderbilt, so that's why she didn't average as much. But if you look at her over, she was consistent about what she did, and she played multiple around the court. Like she played outside, but she also had to play inside to handle the bigs and play the power forward slash center. So I think that right now, y'all should put her in now and start letting her get used to the team, running with the teams and running the plays, and get used to early playing up against these bigs that she was already playing up against in college. Because if you wait to start implementing her later on in the season, it could, like I said, that could damage it because you're like, oh, let her get used to it right now. And I'm telling you, Justine Passat would be a beast. You guys better go look up on Justine Passat. Like I said, that's Indiana Fever secret weapon. But I think if they keep her in the developmental and don't let her start getting enough plays and get used to the team and start getting active right now, I think it's going to hurt her. And you guys might wind up losing her because I'm telling you, Justine Passat, I don't think she is all the way happy right now about where she is right now, being in that developmental spot. I think she wants to be on a 12-man, 12-woman roster. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments about that. Let me know what you think. Do you guys think that Justine Passat should be in a developmental or she should be already moved up? But like I said, when you're talking about the Indiana Fever, this is why I brought up Justine Passat, mainly because I don't think that she should be in a developmental. I think she should be on the main roster right now because that's what the Indiana Fever need, especially if you have because there are going to be games where all three of our star players, key players, Leah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell, they're not all going to be like every game, all going to have it average like 20 points. So you need players. And what if, so like I said, what if things happen like injuries or players are having a bad game? You need players coming off the bench that is going to be able to put up solid points. And I'm telling you guys, Justine Passat, Justine Passat is Indiana Fever secret weapon, and they need to activate her. I'm telling you,